Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NORHANIE MAISARAH binti ZAHARI and my matric number is 1240650. I'm from TLB6 and KLB1. So, for subject LAB 2013, Administration of Islamic Law in Malaysia, the case that I choose for my individual presentation is SULAIMAN bin TAKRIB against Kerajaan Negeri Terengganu, Kerajaan Malaysia and another 2009 6 MLJ 354. There are 9 contents of my individual presentation, which is case review, objective, fact of the case, court held, issue, discussion, justification, recommendation and conclusion. The case of SULAIMAN bin TAKRIB against Kerajaan Negeri Terengganu, Kerajaan Malaysia and another. The appellant name is SULAIMAN bin TAKRIB. The hearing date of this case was on 26 September 2008 at Federal Court Putrajaya. The presiding judge is Abdul Hamid Muhammad. The case referred for this case is Lina Joy against Majlis Agama Islam Wilayah Persekutuan, as both case deal with constitutional issue related to freedom of religion. Let's move to the next content, which is objective. Firstly, the objective of this case is to determine whether the Sharia Criminal Offences Terengganu Enactment 2001 infringe upon the right to freedom of religion under Article 11 of the Federal Constitution. Secondly, to examine the scope of the state power in regulating religious practice and belief that are deemed deviant by the state. And lastly, to clarify the role of Sharia courts in matters concerning Islamic law and the extent to which they can influence or restrict religious freedom. Fact of the case for this case is SULAIMAN bin TAKRIB was a follower of Ayah Pen, the leader of the Sky Kingdom Kerajaan Langit movement, which was based on unconventional religious belief and practice that deviate from mainstream Islam. Ayah Pen and his followers believed that Ayah Pen was a divine figure and spread ideas that contrary to traditional Islamic teachings. In 2001, the Terengganu state government enacted the Sharia Criminal Offences Terengganu Enactment 2001, which criminalized various religious practice considered to be deviant or contrary to Islamic teachings. This included belief, practice and propagation of the ideas that deviate from Orthodox Islam, such as the teaching of the Sky Kingdom. Then, SULAIMAN bin TAKRIB was arrested and charged under this Sharia enactment for engaging in and promoting belief that deviate from mainstream Islam teachings. Specifically, his involvement in Kerajaan Langit was seen as a violation of the enactment, and he was prosecuted for promoting a religious movement that the state deemed deviant. SULAIMAN contested the constitutionality of the Sharia Criminal Offences Terengganu Enactment 2001, arguing that it violated his fundamental right to freedom of religion as guaranteed under Article 11 of the Federal Constitution of Malaysia. He believed that the state's attempt to regulate religious belief and prosecute followers of the Sky Kingdom was an unjustified infringement on his constitutional rights, particularly religious freedom. The state of Terengganu argued that the Sharia enactment was within its constitutional authority to legislate on matters concerning Islam, including the regulation of deviant religious practice. The state asserted that the enactment was necessary to preserve the purity of Islam and protect public order and morality by prohibiting belief and practice it deemed to be contrary to Islam. The Federal Court dismissed SULAIMAN bin TAKRIB's appeal and upheld the validity of the Sharia Criminal Offences Terengganu Enactment 2001. The court ruled that the Terengganu state had the constitutional right to regulate matters concerning Islam under List 2 of the 9th Schedule of the Federal Constitution. This includes the power to pass law that criminalize practice deemed deviant from Islam. Moreover, the court confirmed that freedom of religion under Article 11 of the Federal Constitution is not absolute. It can be restricted in the interest of public order, morality and the protection of Islam. The court accepts the state's argument that criminalizing deviant religious practice was a necessary step to preserve the integrity of Islam. Besides, the court reiterated that Sharia courts have exclusive jurisdiction over matters related to Islamic law, including the regulation of religious belief and practice of Muslims. There is an issue that arises in this case. The issue is whether the Sharia Criminal Offences Terengganu Enactment 2001 violated the fundamental right to freedom of religion under Article 11 of the Federal Constitution. Based on the court held, we can see that Sharia Criminal Offences Terengganu Enactment 2001 does not violate the fundamental right to freedom of religion under Article 11 of the Federal Constitution. Based on the court held, the court acknowledged that freedom of religion is a fundamental right guaranteed by the Constitution. However, the right is not absolute and can be restricted if such restrictions are necessary for the maintenance of public order, morality, or the protection of Islam. The court also accepted the state's position that regulating deviant religious practice was justified in preserving the integrity of Islam. Furthermore, the court examined the powers of the state to legislate on matters concerning Islam under List 2 of the non-schedule. It found that the Terengganu state was within its constitutional authority to enact laws prohibiting deviant religious practice and to regulate matters concerning Islamic law. In my opinion, the court's decision is deemed acceptable. The court interpreted the federal constitution to allow for limitations on freedom of religion in the interest of public order and the protection of Islam. The court emphasized that the right to religious freedom can be restricted when it conflicts with the state's legitimate interest in maintaining public morality. Besides, the court also reinforced the state's power to legislate on matters concerning Islam and found that the Sharia enactment was valid under the Constitution. The court acknowledged that the state has a constitutional duty to safeguard the purity of Islam among its citizens. For the recommendation, it is recommended that the government and courts provide clearer guidelines on the limits of religious freedom and the justifications for restricting such freedom in the interest of public order or morality. Also, there should be continued effort to strengthen the Sharia court system, ensuring it can handle sensitive religious issues in a timely and effective manner. In conclusion, this case reinforced the balance between constitutional rights and the state's powers to regulate religious practice under Islamic law. There is a restriction for the right to freedom of religion to maintaining public order and protecting Islam. The case also highlights the exclusive jurisdiction of Sharia courts in matters relating to Islamic law.